Are you ready for a mesmerizing journey under the moonlit sky? Join us on Midnight Murmurs as we dive into the enchanting world of Forged by Moonlight, a captivating sleep story that will transport you to a realm of werewolves, destiny, and the power of unity. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more immersive bedtime stories that will lull you into a peaceful slumber. Let the Midnight Murmurs guide you to a world of tranquility and dreams. Chapter 1: The Call of Destiny. With a mixture of trepidation and excitement, Ariana's heart raced as she stood at the threshold of her destiny. She was embraced by the moonlit night, which gave her silver for an ethereal glow as she gazed off into the distance. The anticipation in the air was palpable. It seemed as though the forest itself was holding its breath in anticipation of her next move. The old tree's branches extended like gnarled fingers toward the starry sky as the wind rustled through them. Ariana closed her eyes and let the untamed night embrace her senses. She had always had a strong bond with the moon, who was also her true protector and guide. However, this evening had a different vibe. Something extraordinary was about to happen. Ariana was illuminated by the moon's radiant light as it rose higher in the sky. In response to an unseen force that pulsed within her veins, her muscles twitched. She had known from the moment of her birth that she was destined for greatness and would guide her pack with strength and wisdom. But she needed to fully commit to her calling at this point. Ariana's eyes were still closed when she felt a surge of energy entwined with her very being. In her mind's eye, a clear and potent vision manifested. In the middle of the forest, deep within an ancient sanctuary, she saw the reputedly powerful location of the moon. The solution to regaining equilibrium and taking back her pack's territory lay here, waiting for her. Ariana opened her eyes and inhaled deeply, letting the aroma of pine and moist earth fill her lungs. She was aware of her obligations. The moon goddess herself had to lead her on a dangerous journey. It was the only way she could accomplish her purpose and safeguard her pack from the advancing darkness that posed a threat to their way of life. Ariana held with resolute determination, her voice resonating through the night and reaching her packmates. Their eyes were full of unwavering loyalty and trust as they gathered around her. Ariana shared her vision and her purpose in a voice that was equal parts commanding and vulnerable. She discussed the ancient sanctuary as well as the difficulties that lay ahead. But she reassured them that they would prevail if they worked together under the direction of the moon goddess. The group listened closely, ears perked, and bodies tensed. They had always trusted Ariana to lead, but now that destiny rested squarely on her shoulders, their faith grew stronger. They were aware that they had to remain by her side because the outcome affected their pack, their territory, and their way of life. Ariana's resolve hardened as the moon rose to its highest point, casting a halo of light over the group. She would lead them to the refuge, where they would find the key that would open the door to victory. Although the road ahead would be difficult and full of hardships and difficulties, they would work together to create a future illuminated by the moon. Ariana gave the pack one last help to direct them to move forward. As they set out on a quest that would push them to their limits and determine their futures, The forest resounded with the sounds of determined paws pounding against the ground. Nothing could stop Ariana from reclaiming her pack's territory and bringing balance to their war-torn world now that her journey had started. Chapter 2: Shadows of Betrayal. Long shadows that danced eerily across Ariana's fur were cast by the moonlight as it bathed the ancient forest. She crept through the undergrowth while keeping her senses keen and awake. She felt a tingle along her spine as there was an unsettling tension in the air and an unspoken unease. Within her pack, something wasn't right. The earlier that day's events, the gathering of Ariana's pack members and their deliberations regarding their next course of action in reclaiming their territory, repeated in Ariana's mind. She had noticed a hint of deception in one of her most trusted advisors, Malachi, during the conversation, though. Ariana felt doubt in her heart. Since she was a puppy, Malachi had been by her side, advising her with strength and wisdom. But the specters of betrayal had tarnished their relationship. She was forced to take notice of the clues and hints that he was no longer committed to their cause. Ariana moved silently toward the clearing where her pack was gathered. Their eyes were filled with a mixture of anticipation and uncertainty, and their fur shone silver in the moonlight. She had to exercise caution because she needed the answers. Trust was a thin thread that was easily broken. Her pack members turned to face her as she entered the clearing, looking around for direction. With her own eyes burning with resolve, Ariana met their gazes. She had to confront Malachi in order to learn the truth, but she couldn't let her doubts be known to her pack. She yelled, "Malachi," in a firm, commanding voice. "Walk alongside me." None of the other wolves dared to object to their leader's request, despite their curious glances. The paws of Ariana and Malachi against the forest floor made no sound as they moved away from the pack. The space between them was thick with meaningless words. The silence was finally broken by Ariana. "Malachi, I have a problem. I have a sneaking suspicion that you are at the heart of a darkness that is permeating our pack." Malachi's eyes widened in surprise, but it was clear that she was feeling guilty. "I swear allegiance to you and our pack, Ariana. Never would I betray you." Ariana continued to look at him intently, looking for any indication of deception. "Malachi, actions speak louder than words. I can see the uncertainty in your eyes and the hesitancy in your behavior. Tell the truth, please." Malachi sighed and let out his shoulders to slump. A rival clan has approached me, promising strength and supremacy. They want to take over our country and overthrow you. They guaranteed me a position of power by their side." The guilt of betrayal weighed heavily on Ariana, causing her heart to sink. "What commitments did you make to them in return?" Malachi spoke with trembling, regret in her voice. I didn't promise you anything, Ariana. I did listen, but I never swore allegiance to them. I was conflicted and unsure of their motives. But now that I'm in front of you, I understand reality. I can tell you're a strong, determined person. I can see the righteous path we should take." Malachi's face was observed by Ariana as she looked for sincerity. In his eyes, there was a flash of regret and a reminder of the connection they once had. She realized then that she couldn't just leave him. She said, her voice softened by forgiveness, "Malachi, your actions have endangered our pack, but your honesty has earned you a chance at redemption. Prove your loyalty, and together with my pack, we'll guide the way to a better future." Chapter 3: The Trials of the Crescent Moon. The anticipation was thick in the air as Ariana stood at the entrance to a sacred glade. Her thoughts were filled with the moon goddess voice, pleading with her to face the challenges that awaited her. She inhaled deeply to center herself before stepping into the ethereal glow that was coming from within. A silence descended upon the forest as Ariana entered the glade. The clearing was bathed in moonlight, which revealed a series of intricate symbols etched into the ground in the shape of a crescent moon. Her tenacity would be put to the test there, and the trials would determine whether she was fit to be the pack leader. A figure shrouded in moonlight emerged from the shadows, commanding yet calm in their bearing. It was the moon goddess herself, and she had wise old eyes. She signaled for Ariana to get close. The moon goddess said, her voice sweet like a distant lullaby, "The trials will test your mind, body, and spirit, Ariana. They'll test your limits and let you know how strong you really are on the inside. Have you prepared?" Ariana nodded, her eyes blazing with determination. "You may go, moon goddess. I'll take on whatever obstacles come my way." The initial test took the form of a tall tree with gnarled branches and glistening leaves. Ariana had to climb the tree to the highest branch and pull out a feather with a silvery tinge. The tree represented her relationship with nature, flexibility, and ability to maintain equilibrium. Ariana jumped onto the tree's trunk with grace and agility, her claws grabbing the bark as she ascended. While the moon goddess followed her progress, the wind encouraged her through the leaves. Ariana's heart swelled with pride as she claimed the feather after a strenuous ascent to the highest branch. The second test appeared as a still pool of water that reflected the moon's soft light. Ariana was instructed to plunge to the bottom of the pool and retrieve a shining moonstone. Her capacity to face her fears and gain perspective during this trial served as a mirror of her inner reflection. As she dove into the water after taking a deep breath, Ariana's body changed into a sleek, silvery shape. She moved through the shadows with acute awareness until she came across the moonstone tucked away among the rocks. She surged back to the surface after successfully grabbing it, the moon goddess' approval visible in her radiant smile. The final trial appeared as a ring of fire with otherworldly intensity dancing flames. Using her instincts and the moon goddess's direction, Ariana had to make her way through the fire. This experience served as a metaphor for her fortitude and spirit. Ariana entered the ring of fire with unwavering resolve. She continued to move forward despite the flames licking at her fur because she had an internal fire just as fierce as the flames. A representation of the moon awaited her in the center, which she approached with each step. The flames went out when she reached out and touched the emblem with her paw, leaving her unharmed. The moon goddess's expression radiated pride and satisfaction as Ariana emerged from the trials. She praised Ariana, saying, "You have displayed bravery, tenacity, and an unwavering connection to the moon. Your spirit is strong, and you are prepared to lead your pack," she said. Ariana's heart grew full of appreciation. By overcoming the challenges, she was able to realize her full potential and strengthen her relationship with the moon goddess. She left the sacred glade feeling more assured than ever, ready to take on any obstacle that lay in her path. She had grown stronger and more capable as a result of the trials, and she was now prepared to lead her pack toward a better future. She had a sense of belonging and purpose as she gazed up at the moon, knowing that she was meant to support and guard her pack under the direction of the moon goddess. Ariana led her pack back to their territory with a triumphant howl, ready to take on any difficulties that might arise. Chapter 4: Unleashed Fury. With their paws pounding against the ground, Ariana and her pack made quick work of the dense forest. High in the night sky, the moon cast a silvery glow over the surroundings. As they neared their territorial border, where their fates would collide with those of their adversaries, tension began to rise. Ariana's keen senses picked up the faint scent of their enemy, a rival werewolf clan thirsty for strength and dominance in the shadows. Her packmates bristled in anticipation as the musk of hostility filled the air. They were aware of the high stakes involved because their home and way of life were on the line. Ember, her most dependable ally and second in command, caught Ariana's attention. Ember's eyes sparkled with resolve, reflecting the tenacity of her own resolve. They nodded to each other in agreement that a struggle lay ahead. The rival clan emerged from the shadows with envious eyes. A large, scarred werewolf who served as their leader stepped forward with a sly grin on his face. His words were dripping with contempt, and his voice rumbled with conceit as he spoke. "Do you dare to challenge us, Ariana? This land is rightfully ours, and if necessary, we will seize it through force," he barked. Ariana exuded confidence as she stood tall and spoke. "My pack owns the land in this area. We'll do everything we can to protect it." The rival werewolf signaled his clan with a roar, and the clash of fangs and claws erupted in the air. The battle was fierce, and the sound of bodies slamming into one another could be heard throughout the forest. The coordinated ferocity of Ariana's pack's battle was a sign of their unity and common goal. With her eyes gleaming with rage, Ariana found herself engaged in combat with a rival she-wolf. They moved in a tight circle around one another before attacking one another. Blood mixed with the earthy scent of the forest as their teeth clattered together. Ariana experienced an internal surge of energy as the battle continued, a primal force, a connection to her very essence. She unleashed her inner wolf with a primal roar, drawing on the unadulterated strength that coursed through her body. Her every move was a blur of grace and dexterity as her eyes shone with a bright, golden light. Her senses sharpened, enabling her to foresee every blow from her adversary. She responded with greater strength and speed than she was accustomed to, her unleashed rage propelling her forward. Ariana quickly and decisively moved to overwhelm her foe and pin her to the ground. As the other werewolf's eyes widened in fear and realization, Ariana realized the pointlessness of their conflict. They had lost sight of the value of preserving their world's natural balance and the beauty of unity because of their insatiable desire for power. Ariana let go of her hold as she took a step back, her voice echoing across the battlefield. "It's over right here. For the sake of our lands and the peace we all desire, let's find another way to live side by side." The competing werewolf struggled to stand up while looking reverent for the first time. He shook his head in agreement while nodding. "Ariana, you've proven your mettle. We'll look for a peaceful conclusion." Ariana concentrated on her pack as the competing clan retreated. Their expressions mixed triumph and exhaustion. Her voice was full of pride and gratitude as she approached Ember. She said, her voice resonating through the forest, "We fought with honor and defended what is ours." Chapter 5: Moonlit Alliance. Ariana and the members of her pack were gathered in a remote clearing as the moon shone brightly, bathing them in a soft glow. There was a palpable sense of tension in the air, but there was also a glimmer of hope in their eyes. They understood that they would require allies to defeat the threat that hung over their land. Ariana had heard of a nearby pack that had also been subjected to the oppression of the evil force that ruled their world. It was time to look for this potential ally, to combine their forces, and to confront their common foe. Ariana's senses sharpened as the pack moved through the dense forest. While the rustle of leaves beneath their paws uttered fables of the land, the aroma of pine and damp earth filled the air. The moon's brilliant light served as their guide as they moved silently, their steps deliberate and steady. They arrived at the periphery of the neighboring pack's territory after what seemed like an eternity. Ariana motioned for her pack to wait as her heart beat faster with anticipation. As a sign of faith and goodwill, she took a single step forward. The alpha of the nearby pack emerged from the shadows with a watchful gaze. His regal presence exuded wisdom and fortitude, and his coat was a striking combination of silver and black. Instantly, Ariana respected him. She introduced herself, a calm and respectful tone in her voice. "I am Ariana, leader of the Crescent Moon Pack. Since both of our lands are threatened, we are looking for an alliance. We can defeat this darkness and reclaim what is rightfully ours if we work together." The alpha gave her a long look as his amber eyes peered for any indications of deceit. While there was stillness in the room, Ariana's heart was thumping. The alpha finally nodded. "My name is Lucius Alpha. We have also endured a great deal of suffering at the hands of this evil force. I don't see any reason why we can't band together to fight our common foe if our paths cross." Ariana felt a wave of relief, but she kept her composure. "Alpha Lucius, I'm grateful. Together, we can accomplish more." After the deal was made, Ariana went back to her pack with a newfound sense of resolve in her voice. She described the partnership, their common goal, and the necessity of coordinating their efforts. The group's eyes sparkled with a mix of trepidation and hope as they listened intently. The two packs collaborated, strategizing and training together as the days turned into nights. As time went on, trust developed, and the bonds of friendship grew stronger. They deepened their understanding of one another's histories by exchanging tales about their ancestors, battles fought, and victories achieved. Ariana and Alpha Lucius huddled under the massive oak tree that served as a symbol of their unity during the moonlit hours. Their words were infused with a holy energy as the moon goddess light bathed them. Ariana said, "We stand here today, two packs joined by a common purpose, with a voice that echoed the moon's blessing. We battle for more than just our territories, we battle for our very existence. We will confront our adversary as a unit with unwavering courage and unyielding strength." Alpha Lucius moved forward and spoke with authority. "Our alliance is based on more than just practicality. It is created out of a sense of shared destiny and optimism for the future. May the moon goddess show us the way as we travel through the darkest part of the night." The two packs set out after their agreement was signed, united in purpose and prepared to face the evil force that had pervaded their lands for an excessively long time. Each alliance member felt the weight of their obligation as well as the glimmer of hope that burned in their hearts. They were confident that by working as a team, they could successfully navigate any challenge. They moved forward, determined to defend their homes and maintain their way of life, their eyes fixed on the horizon. The moon goddess kept watch over them, her light illuminating them like a lighthouse of courage and hope. Although the future was uncertain, the two packs knew they could face it because of their unbreakable bond. Chapter 6: A New Dawn. Ariana and her pack stood on the battlefield as the moon glowed softly in the night sky. They had traveled a great distance, navigating hazardous terrain and overcoming numerous obstacles to arrive at this crucial time. They could feel the ominous presence that had afflicted their country looming before them. The moon goddess's blessings were palpable on Ariana, and the cohesiveness of her pack gave her a sense of power she had never felt before. She gave each member of her pack a thoughtful and determined look as she did so. To usher in a new era of peace for all werewolves, they had come together, forged in fire and affliction. They felt their spines tingle as the malevolent force, a being of absolute darkness, emitted a chilling aura. It was a horrifying, strong creature that had gotten its energy from the unrest and fighting that had ravaged their country for far too long. With a firm voice, Ariana proclaimed, "Today, we face the embodiment of our deepest fears and the cause of our suffering. But we're not on our own. We are strong together because of our common goal and the moon goddess's direction. Together, we will usher in a new era characterized by peace and harmony." The group collectively nodded, their eyes displaying unwavering resolve. They were aware that the upcoming battle would be their biggest test, but they were ready to meet it head-on. Ariana and her pack sprinted ahead as the first light of dawn peeked over the horizon, their savage cries piercing the stillness. Their coordinated and fluid movements demonstrated their mutual trust and cohesion. Every blow was motivated by a deep-seated desire for justice, and the clash of fangs and claws reverberated across the battlefield. As Ariana tapped into the unbridled power of her inner wolf, her senses became more acute. Her muscles were rippling with strength as she felt the surge of energy rushing through her veins. She attacked every foe she encountered with calculated ferocity, her every move being dictated by skill and instinct. Her pack fought bravely and unwaveringly next to her. They moved as a single unit, watching each other's backs and lending assistance as necessary. Their unity was a force to be reckoned with. They were no longer just a collection of people, they were a family, bonded by loyalty and a common purpose. The conflict of forces continued to rage in the battle. With every second that passed, Ariana could see the evil force waning. It writhed and thrashed as the combined werewolf pack's relentless attack wore down its dark essence. A radiant beam of light illuminated the battlefield as it peeked through the clouds in the midst of the chaos. The energy of the moon goddess was palpable, giving Ariana and her pack newfound vigor. Ariana charged forward with one last burst of resolve, her claws striking accurately. The dark entity let out a terrifying scream before vanishing into thin air. Theirs was the victory. Ariana and her pack were standing amid the battle's debris as the dust settled. An unexpected calm and peace that permeated their very beings filled the air. They had succeeded in restoring equilibrium and ushering in a new era of peace for all werewolves, which was what they had set out to do. The dawn had come, signaling a new beginning for people of their kind. Ariana turned to her group, gratitude and pride beaming from her eyes. She said with a quiet resolve that filled her voice, "We have faced the ultimate test, and we have triumphed. Let this serve as a reminder to us all that we are stronger together. May the moon goddess always be our leader as we continue to defend and serve our species." The group then let out a single, triumphant howl that reverberated throughout the forest. Ariana and her pack were prepared to take on any obstacles that arose now that the new era had begun. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary adventure through the pages of Forged by Moonlight on Midnight Murmurs. We hope you enjoyed this captivating sleep story filled with mystical creatures, bravery, and the triumph of unity. If you found this tale as enchanting as we did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Midnight Murmurs for more immersive bedtime stories that will transport you to magical realms night after night. Stay tuned for our next whispered tale, and may your dreams be filled with wonder and tranquility. Until next time, sleep tight and embrace the Midnight Murmurs.